Okay, so we've talked about the operational customer relationship management, establishing a relationship, allowing customers to reach you and you to be able to reach customers. Then we talked about the second part is understanding the customers, analyzing the data, building a profile and analyzing what the needs are of the customer and how you could target them in your advertising. So let's take a look at the next step. Once we have the relationship, we understand the customer, now let's start working with the customer. And that part we call collaborative customer relationship management. In collaborative customer relationship management, you are building a direct interaction with people who develop products, who are doing sales, who are doing marketing, and the customer. And often social media plays an important role in this. If you looked at the lectures from virtual communities and networks, we talked about this connection you can make with people. So that's social media using that, but what do you do in that connection? And if you talk about customer relationship management, in that connection you have with the customer, you can do, for example, product development. But also you can listen to the customer to inform you about your products. So a lot of times customers use Facebook and Twitter to comment about the products and services. And being part of that conversation, being part of those virtual communities that we've talked about can help you understand how people perceive your products and help you to understand their needs. And that builds partly on analytical CRM. And there are specific applications for that that have been developed. Google Alerts can help you keep an eye on that. There is OB41 applications. Dell has specific things. If we talk about crisis management, there's whole teams like the Standby Task Force that monitor social media that we've talked about in the previous chapters. I showed you this example with these, it's a treat in Dutch traditions in December times after Sinterklaas called pepernoten. And nowadays we have chocolate covered pepernoten. So what happened is that on Facebook, there was this lady who said, to the producer of this treat, I like them, but I only like the white chocolate ones or the milk chocolate ones. I forgot which one. And so she posted that on social media, and then they said, if you get enough likes, then we'll start producing them for you. So what happened is she posted that, and then a lot of people agree with her. Within no time, she got tremendous amount of likes. And because the company said, we're going to do it if there's enough likes, now they had to do it because, they were part of it. People witnessed their reply. It was all public. So they had to start producing it. Now, to give you an idea of what that means for the company, you all of a sudden have to start developing new packages. You have to start rescheduling your production. You have to order different supplies. You have to talk with supermarkets about shelf space that is needed to display these products. You have to do marketing. All these other things have to happen. So it's a huge impact based on just a Facebook post and a fun interaction that the company had. If you think that normally production is being planned throughout the year, now they had to change it rapidly in a few months. So I'm not sure, but I assume they lost money on it. But of course, for their image, it was really good. It doesn't always work out though. A few years ago, McDonald's had this idea of launching a social media campaign called #MCD Stories, where they asked customers to share their warm stories about McDonald's and how it brought the people together and the wonderful food they were having. And they said, meet some of the hardworking people. And so they posted that and they asked people on social media, hey, join the conversation, collaborate with us about, sharing this story about McDonald's, share your stories about McDonald's. Now, I'm not sure about you, but when I think about McDonald's food, the first thing that comes to mind is probably not high quality food and proud people and high cuisine and all these other things. So indeed, what happened is that within a few hours, that hashtag was trending with all kinds of gruesome stories and pictures and so on. So what happened here is that the idea of working with your customer was good, but of course you have to also be honest with your own public perception. You have to understand that relationship you have with your customers, how their perception is of you and your products and services. So when you work together with them, it can lead to great things. Remember, in one of the other lectures we talked about innovations. Working with your customers, like for example on Kickstarter, can work great, but you have to understand what the relationship is and manage that carefully before you start launching in a campaign, and you get probably a mismatch between your perceptions and what people think of you. So collaborative CRM can really work well in establishing that relationship, and not only seeing the customer as somebody who purchases products from you, or see customer relationship management as something you analyze to sell your products. But collaborative CRM is really about building, also discussing the content. So operational is just making that relationship, making it technically work, allowing people to interact. Analytical CRM is about understanding the customer, identifying their needs, and better understanding who they are and what they need. But collaborative CRM is where you really share content and start discussing the products and the services directly with your customers. And the key thing is to combine all of these, and that's what we're going to look at in this last part.